I pleaded guilty to the crimes I committed, and I was sentenced to 32 years. The sentencing guidelines had called for from 10 to 16 years.
I walked out of prison with a collection of things that made it a whole lot more likely that I would succeed. Most people don't. So rather than be surprised that people fail to make the best of their second chance, or we have such a high recidivism rate of people going back to jail and prison, we should instead be surprised that some people do succeed despite the lack of resources and despite the barriers, basically having the deck stacked against them. So let's talk about what I had the day I got out of prison. This was August 16th, 2021, about 19 years into a 32-year sentence, and I wasn't supposed to get out that day. I wasn't supposed to get out until 2030 at the earliest, with good time, with all the things in place. But a couple years before, about 2.5 years prior, I had filed a petition for a conditional pardon to the governor, basically saying, hey, I was just 18 when I committed the offense. I've done all this work since I've been inside. I was sentenced to twice the high point of the sentencing guidelines. This is what I want to do with my life. This is why I feel like I'm more valuable on the outside. And 2.5 years later, the governor agreed with me. He signed that conditional pardon, and he released me, agreeing to commute the rest of my sentence based on the completion of certain conditions. So the day I got out, I didn't know I was getting out when I woke up. Instead, I got called in the counselor's office. Somebody was on the speakerphone and said, Mr. Crossan, are you sitting down? Because you've gotten a pardon, you're leaving Coffeewood today. And I wasn't sitting down before, but I did hit a knee after that, and I did feel tears in my eyes. I did feel myself shaking because it just didn't seem real. I'd been hoping for this, but back when I filed for a pardon, it wasn't possible. If people received a conditional pardon, it was for political favor, it was because somebody had made a donation, like it just wasn't a real option. But I came in at a perfect storm of things that worked out, including the reasons that I was able to find success after prison, which was those collection of things I left with. When I got that news, I didn't know. I walked back to my bunk, and there was a guy that I'd been working out with, and I called him over and packed all my stuff into a bag. We had these mesh bags we used for commissary and for laundry. I packed all my food, I packed all my hygiene, packed all the stuff that I bought from commissary, and gave it to him and said, here, I think I'm coming back, I think this is a mistake, but if not, I want you to take all this stuff and enjoy it. Because at that point, I still didn't believe it was real, but I wasn't worried about taking that stuff home. Now, some people are. Some people don't have anywhere to go or don't have anything, and they do have to worry about how they're going to buy deodorant or how they're going to buy soap or how they're going to buy the basic things, how they're going to buy food. I was fortunate to have a family, and that was what the difference was. So when I left prison, it's not just about the things I left with, it's also about the connections that I left with and the opportunities that I left with. That day, after running errands and running back and forth and getting things organized, I left with a few things from my collections. Left my TV, left my watch, left all my food, left all my hygiene, left all that stuff. But there were a few books, there were 3 books that were really meaningful to me that I took because they had sentimental value. All the other books, all the other things I left behind because they were more valuable to the people inside the prison than they would have been to me on the outside. Just like stamps or other things. Like stamps are easy to get out here. Like you pay 50 cents or 53 cents or whatever they are now and you get them. In there, it can be life or death. It can be like make or break being able to afford a stamp, to be able to communicate with somebody or send somebody a birthday card or a Christmas card. So I knew it'd be more valuable to them on the inside. I took those books, I took a collection of pictures, both pictures that people had sent me prior to them banning pictures coming through the mail, as well as pictures that I'd taken through Picture Project, which is where I could buy something at commissary that allowed me to pay somebody to take a picture, either of me or me and my buddies on the inside or me and my family or friends when they came to visit me. Those things were amazing. Those pictures meant a lot to me, and that was one of the few things that would mean more to me on the outside than it would to somebody else on the inside, because the friends that I'd taken pictures with already had a copy of those. Took those pictures. I also took letters, because the letters that I'd gotten over the years, and sometimes I'd packaged them up and sent them home, and sometimes I'd done other things with them, those letters were like fuel for my soul over all those years. They were how I stayed connected, how I stayed motivated, how I stayed human. Because in a place that's designed to strip you of your humanity, of kind of reducing us to our lowest common denominator, lowest factor, having those letters and the opportunity to pour my soul into people and have people pour their soul into me, that was life-giving. That was important, so I valued those letters, and I wanted to take them home with me. So it was a big package of letters. Other than that, the only thing I took home with me was the clothes on my back, the weird brown release clothes that they gave me, which is standard to give somebody in the Virginia Department of Corrections, and I got an ATM card that had all the money on my account. Now, I talked about a perfect storm for why I was able to succeed, and I was able to go home with a fair amount of money on that ATM card. Now, not tens of thousands of dollars, but a few $1,000s, because the whole thing with COVID and stimulus checks was they didn't exclude people who were incarcerated. So incarcerated people were eligible to receive stimulus checks. So I'd received 3 stimulus checks, one for $600, one for $1,200, one for $1,800, whatever the numbers were, a few $1,000s, and being in prison and making 27 cents an hour or 35 cents an hour or 45 cents an hour, I knew that money had to last. So I had bought some things, I'd put money on the phone, I'd put money on the kiosk so I could communicate with people on the outside. For the most part, I'd been saving saving that money because I wanted to be able to be okay on the inside without having to reach out and ask for help from people on the outside. So I had those few $1,000s on there, and I was able to go the first day and go to a bank, I think it was actually the second day, and basically get all the money off that card. Because if people who contract with the state manage to have all these fees baked into that card, where if you don't take money off or if you use it at a registry, whatever, you get basically feed, nickeled and dimed until your money is gone. So what they told me was get all the money off there as soon as I could. So I went to the bank, I used the ATM there, I got all the money off, and I was able to deposit it because I had somebody who was willing and able to open an account for me. Because what I didn't leave, which was a state issue ID. I didn't have an ID, so I had to go to a bank and ask to open a bank account without an ID, and obviously that doesn't work very well. Now, I did have a birth certificate, and I did have a social security card, and I also had a printout. Somebody at the front desk of the prison had given me a printout of my prison ID. Basically, it was a picture, name, date of birth, all those things. And so when I went to the bank, I went to the manager and said, hey, this is who I am, this is my story, can you help me? And his thing was, okay, well, I don't think you're trying to take advantage of me, because who would want to give the bank money if they're trying to take advantage of me? But let's look at this, let's figure it out. He made an exception, it was not policy, and I was actually able to thank him a few months ago. I was out in that area, and I went to the bank, I said, oh, could I speak to so-and-so? I don't want to put his name out there because he may be a private individual. He came out from the back, and I said, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I came in a few years ago. This is my situation. I now run my business through here. The nonprofit bank's here. Like, everybody that I work with is basically thanking this bank because you have created this possibility for me to succeed. And I remember he was like, looking at me, and he said, well, give me the names and the information. He looked up all the bank accounts and all the numbers, and he was just like, wow, like, you've done really well for yourself. I'm not saying I'm rich, it's not that, but just that a lot of people getting out of prison don't have that. Again, the other thing that I had wasn't just the physical things I had with me, though the money and those letters that sustained me and those books that I was able to read and kind of keep myself centered, those were big. The biggest thing was when I had family and I had support, and I already had connections on the outside. Because when I got out, I remember my mom handing me her phone as she was driving me away, and I'm looking on there, and I'm looking on Facebook, and she had posted about coming to pick me up, and there were hundreds of comments already. This is like an hour later or 2 hours later of people being like, oh my God, welcome home. Tell Jesse to call me. Tell Jesse if he needs a job. Tell Jesse if he needs this or this or this. Because I had built those connections while I was inside. I would send things out, I would send essays out, I would send poetry out, have someone post it on my Facebook page, and basically built a community. And someone would send me in comments or send me in questions, and I would respond that way. So indirectly, I was doing social media before I got out of prison, which allowed me to build those connections to where people were invested in my story. So people wanted to offer me a job. They wanted to offer me a place to stay. They wanted to offer me tools or a vehicle or any of the things that I needed. Not necessarily for free, sometimes just for low cost, or hey, I have a truck if you need to borrow it, or like if you need to do whatever. Basically, people tried to help me get on my feet. And I think about the people who don't leave prison with any money on that ATM card because they didn't get stimulus checks, or because they haven't been able to make a lot of money, or because they don't have somebody on the outside to help them take care of their needs while they're inside. Also think about people who don't get out to a home. I was able to go stay with my mother, and after a month I was able to go into town because someone offered me a place to stay. So I was able to move into town where I was closer to work, and I was closer to opportunity, and I was closer to all those things, and that was only possible because of the network that I built. And I think about that because there are two parts to it. One, I was incredibly lucky. I enjoyed incredible privilege in getting the support and these opportunities that most people don't. I also worked my ass off and did everything I could to build those connections and build that network and build that support. So it's twofold, because some people would never have had that opportunity. They wouldn't have had that introduction into that social circle or into that world. Other people would have it, but not do anything to nurture it, not do anything to grow it, not do anything to water it. So it's twofold. One, people need to have those opportunities, but two, they need to do the work to maintain them or to build them or to grow them. And I did both. And I always encourage people. They say, well, what would you do, or what would you tell me to do to prepare for getting out? I would say, well, figure out who your network is. Figure out where you're going to go. Figure out who you're going to be around. And if any of those people are people from your old life, you're already messing up. Basically, you're already throwing it away. But if people you're going to be around are people that have something you want, or they're living a life you want, or they're living in a way you want, like that is success. Now you're getting around people who are going to help you live a different life and learn a different way to be, because if you go back to the old, you're always going to get the old. I know what came with the old. 32 years in prison came with the old, and I don't want to go back to that. I tell people that all the time. And a lot of times they say, oh, well, I can't because my homeboy and this and so, and it's like, that's cool and all, but you know what? Your homeboy ain't here with you. Your homeboy ain't doing this time. Your homeboy ain't going to help you do the next time either. My suggestion is always figure the people that are living the life you want to live or doing the things you want to do and go around them. Because the best way to see where somebody's going to be is to look at the 5 people closest to them. And if I'm surrounding myself with people who are where I used to be, I'm going to get back to where I used to be. If I'm surrounding myself with people who are living where I want to be, I'm going to be where I want to be. And I live by that day by day. Now, for work, for mentoring, for different roles and opportunities, I was just talking to a prosecutor earlier today, talking about somebody who I may have an opportunity to mentor. I'm down for it. But those are not the people that I turn to, or the people that I look to, or the people that I necessarily take advice from. Now, the people that I take advice from, again, are those who've succeeded in ways that I want to succeed, who are places that I want to be. And I'm incredibly grateful because the internet has opened this network where I'm able to reach people all over the world. I talk to somebody in Canada every day. We send texts back and forth. They hold me accountable. They encourage me. They give me introductions. I have a mentor who basically guides me and teaches me and has become my friend as well. So I get all these beneficial things from somebody that I never would have been able to meet before the internet. But because of that, I'm also able to have a Zoom call every Friday with somebody in Ireland and somebody in Pennsylvania right after that. I'm able to build these connections and learn from people I wouldn't otherwise have access to. So in addition to money on an ATM card, the clothes on my back, those things that were personal or were meaningful to me, in addition to those connections that I had the hunger and the desire to nurture other connections and make opportunities happen. And I just had that hunger and desire to do things. I wanted to get out and stop living on the sidelines, stop living the way prison had been making me live for so long, and living the best life I could. That's why today I was in court for the restorative justice job. That's why today I was meeting with people. That's why today I was sending proposals. That's why tomorrow we have a huge event at the juvenile center. I'm doing the things that I feel like are most impactful and the things that at my core I want to do, the things that feel meaningful and feel real, and I came out with the belief that that was possible. Now in the beginning I definitely doubted it. I was like, man, am I being crazy? Like this doesn't really make any sense. It's probably isn't a good idea. But slowly over time I put one foot in front of the other and I made these things a reality. That's why I'm excited about the event tomorrow. I'm excited about the job I have. I was excited about filming educational content in Missouri last week. I'm excited about all these things because they're things that come from the core. They come from who I am and where I want to be and what I want to be doing. And that's what I always tell people. I left prison with the glimmer of hope and belief in myself. It helped. I just did a neurocognitive thing because after the motorcycle accident and having a TBI, I was a little worried about my function. Turns out my function is fine. I'm doing pretty well. But I do have undiagnosed or untreated ADHD. I do have some depression. I do have some anxiety. I have a fair amount of anxiety. I also had sleep apnea. So all the things that we've looked at, I'm looking at ways that I can improve kind of my peace of mind as well as my performance. Because I want to do really well at every job that I do. I want to show up the best I can for my friends, for my family, for the people in my life. But I also want to have some peace of mind because it's really easy for me, especially, to get stuck in work mode or stuck in performance mode or stuck in productivity mode and forget to take care of Jesse. That's why this past Saturday, you know what? I went out to a cabin and I just laid out and I took naps and I did nothing and just hung out. That was exactly what I needed. Because to do all that work, I need downtime. And I learned that in prison. I would push myself, whether it was working in the factory or working in the law library or working on maintenance or doing schoolwork or all the things I was doing. And I might have a Saturday or Sunday where I didn't move. I didn't do anything. I would just sit there and vegetate and watch sci-fi bad movies. It's harder for me to do it out here in the world because I feel like there's still so many things to do, but I'm trying to find that balance. Because just like a weightlifter, we don't get stronger when we lift weights. We get stronger when we rest after lifting weights. So the other thing I left prison with was a knowledge and an understanding of what I needed to do and what I was capable of doing and how to take care of myself so I could be capable of doing those things. And that had come through hard-won experience in prison, through learning, through getting a bachelor's degree, through reading and studying, but also through trial and error, through making mistakes, through burning myself out, through not taking care of myself. And the more I learned, the more I was able to apply. And some of it's harder to apply out here in the world because there are distractions or there are things to work on or things to do. But I had that base level of knowledge. And that's what has allowed me to succeed. And that's why I want to see more people succeed. I want to see them leave with opportunities and support that they need to be able to succeed. I also want to see them leave with the hunger and the belief in themselves and the sense of possibility that makes it possible for them to succeed. Because so often, kids in the juvenile center will be like, man, why am I going to do that? Like, go out and work at Hardee's? Like, I can go back to the street. And it's like, yeah, you can, but going to Hardee's is not the only other option. Like, where do you want to go? Do you want to go into business? Do you want to go into government? Like, where do you want to be? Because I will bring someone in to show you where they're at and how you can get there too. And when you see that flip switch in the kids' eyes where they're like, oh wait, maybe I could do that. Here's a guy who was locked up who's now running this business or just sold this business or is doing this job or has gotten this higher ed degree. They're like, oh, maybe I could do that. And that's my goal, connecting people with resources, and one of those resources is belief in self. And if I can connect people with those tangible resources as well as those intangible resources, and I can see a lot more people succeed, I know that I will sleep well at night because I will know I am living my life's mission of helping people be free.